Hello and welcome to ITTC online training. In this video, we will be discussing about DHCP server. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol is a protocol that provides quick, automatic and central management for distribution of IP address within a network. DHCP server also configured for subnet mask, default gateway and DNS server. Some of the examples of DHCP servers are the DHCP server which is running on a Cisco router, or the DHCP server which is running on a file server, either Red Hat or Windows, or the DHCP server running on a hotspot, mobile hotspot, or on a Wi-Fi router for internet. So in all cases, we'll be using it for getting the IP address from the router. So all these client machines are not assigned the IP address manually, they will get the IP address automatically. So DHCP server has two ports, one is 67 which is in server and the 68 which is used in client, and it is using the UDP protocol. The client is asking with the 68 and the server is supplying or replying with the 67. And what is the difference between static IP address and dynamic IP address? A static is a permanent IP address which is assigned manually and does not change, and it is less secure, assigning is difficult, you are knowledgeable. So these are used for FTP servers, VPN servers or printers, etc. Where the dynamic IP address is changing and it is coming automatically, more secure, assigning is easier, suitable for large networks. Between server and client, there are 4 messages which are exchanged. Initially, when the client is switched on, it will send a discover message to the entire network. So whenever it sends a discover, the DHCP server will understand that the client requires an IP address and it will give an offer saying that I have one IP address. Now the client will again request for the lease, how long I can use it. Once everything is over, it will acknowledge, nothing but it will be entered in the log file. But the disadvantage is here, if there is only one DHCP server, then if that server fails, our entire network will not get the IP address. In that case, we need to have 2 DHCP servers. So the DHCP client will send a discover message to the entire network, but from where the offer is coming, the client will go with that particular DHCP server. So even if you have 2 DHCP servers, the client will get only single IP address. But whenever one failure occurs, it will have a redundant server. So first of all, in Red Hat Linux 8, we need to install the DHCP server. So DNF install DHCP server or yum install DHCP server. That time the server components are getting installed onto the Red Hat 8. Then we have to copy the sample file from this path to the original path. So this is the original path. So once the original path is copied, then we have to make the configuration in this path. So we might require these type of configurations where domain name, DNS, the IP address and the range of IPs, then the gateway and the lease. So once everything is done, we have to start the DHCP service. Now the DHCP server is set up and it is ready to answer the queries which are queried by a client machine. So we can see that now the port number is listening. Port number 67 is listening to the network. So if you want to do the reservation, always if the client requires always the same IP address, then we have to do the DHCP reservation. So that has to be done in this particular section in the same configuration file. So in the firewall, the DHCP will be denied. So if you want to permit a DHCP server in the firewall, then we can permit permanently so that the client will communicate with the server. So now the server configuration is over. Now in the client side, we have to configure in this file we have to say boot TP equal to DHCP. By default, it will be auto. So boot proto equal to DHCP. Otherwise, it will be auto. You have to change it to DHCP. So now, boot proto will be none. So you have to make it as DHCP. So that's all. Now in the Windows machine, you have to make obtain IP automatically, obtain DNS automatically, so that it will start fetching the IP address from the server. So now we will start configuring the DHCP server in RHEL 8 system. And first of all, let me check what is my IP address. IP space address, and my IP address is you can see here 192.168. You can see the number 2 Ethernet 0 in the third line, 192.168.20.1. So my IP address is 20.1. all right. So I have to configure my DHCP server in the same range. Whatever the IP address which is assigned to the server, in the same range I need to assign the range. If my IP address is 20.1 and I'm trying to assign the IP address in the 30 range, the server will not accept. So if server has to configure and assign the IP address to the client machines, then it should be configured in the same range. All right. So first of all, I need to install the DHCP server. So I will use yum install DHCP star. So before that, you need to yum install. This server is not registered. So I need to check with my yum server configuration, or I can say install. Spelling is wrong. IN. Yeah. Okay. Now it started. So if my yum server is configured properly, or the DNF is configured properly, then I will be able to install. So here there are two packages. One is a DHCP relay agent. One more is a DHCP server. So today we are using DHCP server, and DHCP relay agent is used to configure the server in order to assign the IP address from my network and through the router to my branch offices. For that, I need to configure the DHCP relay agent so that I can assign the IP address from my head office to the client, that is my branch office. So now the DHCP server is getting installed, done. Now let me check the configuration file. Say vi/etc/DHCP and the DHCPD.conf. Yeah, DHCPD.conf. This is the configuration file where we have to make changes for the DHCP server configurations. So it says in my machine I don't have the DHCP, my path, I don't have the DHCP. So you can look for user, then share, doc, then a DHCP server, DHCP-server / DHCP.conf.sample. So that is a path where the sample files are located. So from there we need to pick up the configuration file and update to the original path. So I will type cp, and the same path we can type /usr/user share doc DHCP-server DHCP.conf.sample DHCP.conf.example. That file I can't see. DHCP is there. So DHCPD.conf, DHCPD.conf.example space. Then I should copy to the original path. That is say etc/user dhcp/dhcpd.conf, dhcpd.conf. I'm saying, yeah, overwrite. Yes, overwrite, done. Now I will check the configuration file. So vi, what is the problem? dhcpd.conf, it has not updated. User share doc dhcpd.conf etc vi/etc/dhcp dhcpd dhcpd.conf. One second, let me check. It's not showing anything. Let me check the path once. dhcpd.conf. Something went wrong. So until here I can see everything is fine. See, vi, this has got some configuration over here. I want the same configuration to be appear on that particular path. So the command looks to be same. So I should have said yes, yes. Okay, now let me check. vi, yes, now that configuration is available. So in this configuration file, I need to go to this particular path where a slightly different configuration for an internal subnet. Let us say subnet 10.5.5.5. I need to change it to my subnet. That is, I have to click on insert, then 192.168.20.0. that is my network ID, and my mask is 0.24. I am using the subnet mask as 24. Then I have to give the range of IP addresses 192.168.20.100. I want to start from 100. Then let me go up to some, I have some 50 machines in my network. Then I can go about 20.150. So I will have two servers. If there are two DHCP servers, in another server I can say start from 151 and go up to 200. So I will have a two DHCP server. If one DHCP server fails, I can have another DHCP server. Now optional DNS server, so that is ns1 dot, that is a name server 1 dot say servers, and this is the name, domain name. Yeah, so I can say servers, server name, let us say ns1 dot example.com I'll give, or I can give local example.local. Oh, sorry, something went wrong. Insert, yeah, local, yeah, this one I can change it to yeah, option domain DNS servers, or I can give here I can give, okay, local, and here ns1, here I'll give the IP addresses, say 8.8.8.8, that is my DNS servers. Oh my god, escape. It is a semicolon, which should insert. I have to press insert initially, then 8.8.8.8. all right, yeah. Now optional routers, that is my gateway 192.168.20. let us say my gateway is 254. that's the last IP address I'm using as a gateway, and my broadcast is 255. I'll change it to 192.168.20.255. that is my broadcast IP. Lease is 600 seconds, and maximum lease time is 7,200 seconds. So now this much configuration initially sufficient to get the IP address for the client machine. And you can see here one more Fantasia is there. So this is used to have the fixed IP address for the machine, that is called as a DHCP only, but a static dynamic IP address, where here I have to mention the name of the computer, let us say PC1 or WS1, whatever it is. Then here I have to mention the MAC address of that particular computer. MAC address is of 48-bit, or it will be represented with the 12-digit hexadecimal number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Total 12 digits are there. And here I will mention the IP address of that particular machine, what is required. So we can say we can configure a reservation. So always whenever this MAC address comes to the network, it will always get the same IP address, so that we can say it's a dynamic, right? But it's a static dynamic IP address, where I'll be always getting the static IP address. I'm feeling as if I'm getting a permanent IP address, but actually it is not a permanent IP address. It's a dynamic IP address based on the MAC address. If the MAC address changes, so MAC address is always permanent to the computer. We can change it by changing the motherboard or changing the network card. So if you change the network card, you will start getting a random IP address. You will not get a fixed IP address. Let us say I have a printer in my network, and that printer should get IP address always same IP address. Then I can say static dynamic IP address. Then I'll get the same IP address to the printer or a server, whatever it is. So that's all the configuration in DHCP server. Now we will go to the client machine. Before that, I'll say WQ exclamatory saved. So I need to start the service. So systemctl restart DHCPD. Systemctl restart DHCPD. Yes, successfully it's started. Let me check the status of that. Status. All right. Yeah, it's running fine. Not a problem. So active and running. Let me check. We will make it to enable. Otherwise, next time if the machine restarts, it will not start automatically. If I make systemctl enable DHCP, so the next time if the machine restarts, so automatically that DHCP will start. So all the remaining client machines will start getting the IP address. If you don't run this command, then every time when the server reboots, then you have to be present to run this command. Otherwise, the service will not be running. So ss-tulpn pipe say grep DHCP. So yeah, as we know, its IP port number is 67 and the client port number is 68. So in the client machine it is 68 and in the server machine it is 67. So we can see that yes, it is running. Or one more command, you can say netstat also same, netstat hyphen tulpn pipe grep DHCP. That is also equally good. Yeah, this is also equally good. This is the old command. SS is the new command. So netstat maybe in the next version of the OS that will get outdated, and netstat is a very old command. So I think here now we are ready. So I will do one thing. I will stop the firewall because we don't know at the moment. We don't know how to configure the firewall. So systemctl stop firewalled. Fine. So the firewall is not running at the moment. Firewall we should not stop anytime if it is connected to the internet. Right now no problem because it's not connected to internet. So we can say active, inactive, dead. The information says the firewall is dead. So firewall does not make any disturbance to the configuration or the connectivity. So I think now we are done with this configuration. Now we'll go with another machine, that's a client machine. Then we'll try to get connected. So let us say NMTUI, NMTUI. We can make it as automatic. It's already automatic. If it is manual, you have to change it to automatic. Then say OK, and automatically connect whenever the computer starts. Now I'll say OK, and back, quit. So now, so IF interface, IF config, or IP space address, that's a new command. So the second, number 2, you can say ETH0, IF down, ETH0, ETH0, and yeah, before making it, I will just run the DHCP log. We'll check in the log file. In the again, I'll go back to server. In the server, let me run a command where I can check the log file. Tail, these are the log files which are located. Tail var lib DHCP DHCPD, small letters, DHCPD, then DHCPD.leases. Okay. Oh, so I think one of the machines already got the IP address, that is 20.100. Who is that? Okay. So now I'll go back to client machine and check. It is 20.100. I'll go back to client machine. Yeah, this is my client machine. IF up, I'll say IF down, ETH0, IF up, ETH0. Yeah, now IP space address. Now, if everything is all right, you should get an IP address. Yeah, already IP address is there. That is 192. You can see in the number 2, Ethernet ETH0. In the second line, you can say INET 192.168.20.100/24. Yes, it's already got the IP address. Now we'll check cat/etc/resolve.conf. Resolve.conf. You can see the name servers, that is 8.8.8.8, and the search is ns1.example.local. that is my DNS search path, and the name servers are 8.8.8.8. Route -n. That command is not there. If this command is there, you can check the gateway that I need to install. Route command is not there. Okay. If that command is there, you can check the default gateway. To check the default gateway, route -n, then I can check the default gateway. So we can check the IP address, we can check the DNS, and we can check the default gateway. So it has come automatically from the DHCP server. Now I'll do one thing. Again, I'll say IF down, ETH0, IF down, ETH0. Again, I'll go back to my server, and I'll say system. You can see here already one IP address is assigned. Okay, to the client machine, one of the client machine. I'll say client says clear. Now, if your server is not running, say systemctl stop, DHCPD, stop, DHCPD. So if the server is not functioning properly, not functioning, it has stopped for some reason. Sorry, status. It is showing dead. Now what will happen is, one second. Okay, now we can say in the client machine, where is my markers? Yeah. So you can say in the client machine, IF up, you will not get the IP address from the DHCP server. It's sending a broadcast message to the entire network, but there is no server available that will not assign the IP address to the client machine. So automatically the client machine will land up with an IP address 169.254 something dot something. That's a class B IP address, and that IP address is called as a APIPA for all the client machines. If you are getting an APIPA IP address, automatic private IP address, then you should think that the DHCP server is not functioning, or there is some breakage between the client and the switch, or the server IP address are exhausted. So if the server is not functioning, the client machine will not get the IP address. So now you can say it has said activation failed because your DHCP server is not functioning properly. And as I said, now one more thing is, last thing is the MAC address of the system. So the 12-digit number, so we have to say IP ADDR. Here the 12-digit number you can say, Ethernet IP address 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, 00 colon 15 colon 5D colon FD colon then 61 and 04. This is the 12-digit MAC address of the system. So the same MAC address. So now I'll come back to the server. So here again I'll say start. Okay, now the client will start getting the IP address. So now again I'll go back to the configuration file, vi dhcpd.conf. This time I look for an configuration called as a Fantasia. There are 4 lines, 1 2 3 4 lines. So I'll copy these 4 lines. For copying I have to say escape 4yy. Then I have to come down to the wherever you want to paste, then you have to say paste. So now we have 4 lines available. So here I can give the host name, say WS workstation 1, and the MAC address of the workstation, that is say 00 00 and 15, then 5D, then FD, then 6104, 6104, and done. Here I have to give the IP address whichever you require for that particular system, that is say 192.168.20. Say my range is say 50, 100 to, our range is 100 to, we can check here 100 to, yeah, I'll give something like 110, yeah, 110, that's all. Let me check the range once. Yeah, 100 to 150, so that is fine, 110. Okay, so if I do this configuration, then let me check the configuration back to, yeah, what will happen. So they have to restart the service, systemctl restart. Yeah, once you restart, then everything is fine. Now I'll go back to another machine, virtual machine. Yeah, here I'll say IF down, IF up, then now the system will become up, and it will get a particular IP address from the DHCP server. So we can say here, you go back to here in this number 2, you can see INET 192.168.20.110. so that is 110 always. Earlier it used to get here, you can see here, it was 20.100, that was a random IP address. Now you can see here in this line, it is 20.110, that is nothing but a fixed IP address, but it is a dynamic IP address. It's depending on the MAC address of the system. So that is all about the DHCP server. I hope you understood. Thank you very much.